بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد على آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. We continue our discussion on the book Adab al-Mashi ila-Salah, the etiquette of walking to the Salah. And we have reached the point where the author, rahimahullah, is discussing sujood as-sahu. Sujood as-sahu meaning sujood of forgetfulness. The sujood of forgetfulness. It is important to know that sujood of forgetfulness is legislated in 3 situations. It's legislated when a person make a mistake or forgets, and this mistake of forgetfulness leads him to reduce or to take something from the salah. Meaning he forgets to add something to the salah that has been legislated. The second thing is when a person adds something to the salah. A person adds something to the salah. Like a person should add 5th rak'ah, for example. If a person had 5th rak'ah, or 4th rak'ah to Maghrib, or 3rd rak'ah to Fajr, this will be an addition. And the third situation where sujood as-sahu, the sujood of forgetfulness, is legislated is when a person have a doubt. If a person have a doubt. So either a person reducing the salah, or a person add to the salah, or a person have a doubt about something in the salah. And inshallah, we're going to talk about those 3, inshallah, in this class, inshallah, azza wa jal. So the author, rahimahullah, he said, أما السجود السهو فقال أحمد يغفر فيه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم 5 أشياء. The author mentioned that, may Allah have mercy on him, he said that Imam Ahmed said that there are 5 things that have been preserved from the Prophet ﷺ. Meaning there are 5 hadith, or there are 5 things, there are 5 situations where Saw was mentioned. The first one, he says, Sallama min ithnain fasajada. The first is that the Prophet ﷺ, when he made a mistake in one part where he only prayed 2 rak'ah. When he forgot, he only prayed 2 rak'ah, and he makes sujood after that. After he remembers, he makes the sujood as-saw. Also, it's a fasajada was-salama min thalathin. Also, Prophet ﷺ made a mistake also where he prayed 3 rak'ah in a situation where it's supposed to be 4 rak'ah. He prayed 3 rak'ah, but when he was informed, he completed his salah, then he makes sujood sawa after that. He says, wa fi ziyadati wa nuqsan. And also in situation where he takes something from the salah. The first 2 we discussed by a person, even though they are reduction, but the reduction is related to an entire rak'ah, right? But the other missing that is missing in this, the third one, which is that he is connected to missing an increase. there's a situation where he missed some in part of the salah in some situation. In another part, he increased more in salah. He said, وقام من اثنين فلم يتشهد. And the last part is that he got up. He got up in وقام من اثنين. So he got up in the from 2 rakah, and he did not sit for what? The first tashahhud. And he did not sit for the first tashahhud. He said, قال للخطابي المعتمد عليه عند العلم هذه أحاديث الخمسة. Is Al-Khattabi, one of the scholars of the past, he said these narrations, and we're not going to mention the narration because we're just going to go with the Sheikh. The Sheikh didn't mention the narration, so we're going to stick with that. But even though they mentioned the narration here, we're not going to go into details of the hadith they mentioned. So he says the things that the scholars in general they rely upon are this ahadith, the 5 ahadith, the 5 ahadith, the 5 ahadith where the Prophet make different mistakes in different places, and these are what the scholars generally rely upon to extract the ruling of sujood al-sahw. He said, hadith Ibn Masud, the hadith of Ibn Masud, hadith of Ibn Abi Sa'id, hadith of Abu Huraira, and Ibn Buhayna, and the hadith of Ibn Buhayna. Even though they mention the hadith, like I said, we're not going to mention the hadith, but we're just going to mention what they say regarding them. It said, وَالسُّجُودُ السَّهْوُ يُشْرَعُ لِزِيَادَةِ وَنُقْصَانِ وَالشَّكِّ فِي فَرْض وَالنَّفْلِ. It says sujood al-sahwi is legislated, like I mentioned, it's legislated if a person adds to the salah, or reduce from the salah, or have doubt. Right? Whether it is obligatory or whether it is nafil, whether it's sunnah. So if a person make a mistake, whether it is in the obligatory salah or the sunnah, then he has to make sujood al-sahwi. Whether sujood it may be increase or decrease or doubt. He says, إلا أن يكثر فيصير كوسواس فيطرح. He said, except if these doubts, if these mistakes become a lot, due to a person having wiswas. But some people have wiswas. They have doubt. If they make wudu, right? They have doubts. They say, oh, did I wash my hands? Did I wash my feet? Some people have a lot of doubts about, what to do. And so whether it's salah or even making wudu and so on and so forth. It says this is wiswas. If it's too much, this is wiswas. Or wasawis. This is wasawis. But he said the person should not pay attention to this. The person should just not give attention to it. And he said, وَهَكَذَا فِي الْوُضُوءِ وَالْغُسُلِ وَإِزَالَةِ النَّجَاسَةِ. So some people, like I mentioned, some people have, they have doubt. You got to talk about all this stuff. Whether it's in the wudu, whether they're making ghusl, whether they have impurity in them. Some people they like, oh man, I'm not sure if I'm clean, right? And this is from wiswas, right? It's wiswas. So he says, فَمَتَى زَادَ مِنْ جِنْسِ الصَّلَاةِ قِيَامًا أو ركوعا أو سجودا أو قعودا عمدا بطلت. He said, whenever a person increase in a part of salah, if a person increases salah, whether it is ruku, whether it's standing, or ruku, or sujud, intentionally, then the salah is nullified. Like if a person, for example, he makes ruku, he goes to ruku, then he come back from ruku again, and he go back to ruku again. If he make this mistake intentionally, then his salah is nullified. It is not permissible for us to increase. Or a person decrease intentionally as well too. If a person increasing and decreasing intentionally from the salah, then the salah is nullified. It says this to the statement of Prophet ﷺ, it says, where he said, إذا زاد الرجل أو نقص في صلاته فليسجد سجدتين. And this is due to the statement of Prophet ﷺ, where he said, if a man increase or decrease in his salah, he should do two sujood, means sujood al-sahw. So from this hadith, it means that if it's not intentional, the point of this hadith is that if it's not intentional, but if a person make it sujood, if a person reduce or decrease from the salah or add to the salah intentionally, then his salah become null and void. Right. So the Shaykh he mentioned, it continues, he says, now he says, وَمَتَى ذَكَرَ عَادَ إِلَى تَرْتِيبِ الصَّلَاةِ بِغَيْرِ تَكْبِيرٍ. He said, if a person remembers that he made a mistake, right? Maybe a person is sitting down. He's standing for the fifth rakah, for example, and he remembers that, oh, this is the fifth rakah, that he should return. He should return without saying Allahu Akbar. He should return without saying Allahu Akbar. Yes, go ahead.
Does this only apply when you add something to the salah, or for like?
If it's in any situation. Okay. If a person, like I said, in a situation where a person got up, 55th rakah, and when he got up, he noticed that, this is 5th rakah. It's not supposed to say Allahu Akbar and I'm going to go back and sit down. No. It's just go back and if you just go back and just sit down. It said, وَإِذَا سَلَمْ عَنْ نَقْص سَهْوًا ثُمَّ تَنَبَّهْ أَوْ نُبِهَ بَعْدَ السَّلَامِ فَإِنَّهُ يَعُودُ إِلَى حَالَتِهِ فِي الصَّلَاةِ مِنْ غَيْرِ تَجْدِيدِ التَّكْبِيرِ. It says, even if it make taslim and he reduced in his salah, and someone reminds him, or he remind himself, he became aware for himself after he make the salam, فإنه يعود إلى حالته. So he returned to the state that he was. Right? He returned back to where he was. في حالته من غير تجديد تكبير, without saying Allahu Akbar. Right? You don't need to, you don't need to say Allahu Akbar to get back. No, just go to where you are and just continue from there. لأنه يكفي تكبير الذي أداه قبل ذلك, because the takbir that he says before that is sufficient for him. It's sufficient for the situation. Right. So he continues, says, he said, وَإِنْ زَادَ رَكْعَةً قَطَعَهَا مَتَى ذَكَرَ. He said, for example, if he increases in the fifth rakah, we mentioned, right? If he increases in fifth rakah, he cuts it. He cuts it right away. He doesn't say, you know what? I'm going to complete this rakah, then when I get back, I sit down. No.
Yeah, because that's intentionally.
Now you're intentionally doing it now, right? So if you remember in the fifth rakah, you stand up. You say, oh, this is fifth rakah. Don't say, I'm going to recite Fatiha, I'm going to go to Ruku, and then I want to lie. No. But you go back and sit down, come back right away without saying Allahu Akbar. So he says, وَبَنَى عَلَى فِعْلِ قَبْلَهَا, and he will build on what after that. He builds from that point on. So meaning that he stood for the 5th rakah, he will sit down, then just do the tashahhud after that. Right? He doesn't complete the 5th rakah, sit down, starts in tashahhud after that. It says, وَلَا تَشَهَّدُ إِنْ كَانَ قَدْ تَشَهَّدَ ثُمَّ سَجَدَ وَسَلَّمَ. It says that it does not make sujood, it does not say tashahhud if you have already made the tashahhud before. I mean, for example, you have a situation where a person, he says tashahhud, right? And he thought that he didn't come with the 4th rakah, right? And he got up. So when he got up, he said, oh yeah, I'm right. He just have to come back. He just come back because he had he thought he didn't have the 4th rakah. But when he got up, okay, oh yeah, it's actually right. He just have to come back and do. He has to come back and just sujood sahu, and that is sufficient for him. That's sufficient. In the case that he makes tashahhud already. If he didn't do tashahhud, then he needs to come with tashahhud and everything, and after that. طيب. So the Sheikh mentioned, he says, وَلَا يَعْتَادُ بِرَكَعَةِ الزَّائِدَ مُسْبُوقٍ. He said the person who following him, the one who's following him, it should not count this additional as a person who came late, for example. He came late. It should not count if this imam that made the mistake, right? Of course, obviously the imam, right? It should not count this addition. It should not count it. It says, الركعة الزائدة لا تحتسب فلا يعتد بها مسبوق فإذا فاته ركعة وقام الإمام على ركعة زائدة فإنه لا يعتد بها. So if he came late, right, and this imam he made a mistake, he does not consider that, but he come with his own. He come with his own. But لابد أن يأتي بها مسبوق به بعد الإمام. But he has to come after the imam. So he says, ولا يدخل معه من علم أنها زائدة. The one who knows that the imam made a mistake should not follow the imam in the mistake. Right? If you're behind the imam, you know the imam is in the 5th rakah, right? Do not follow him in that. Of course, you should let him know, inform him. But if you know that he made a mistake, do not follow him. Because if you follow him and you know he made a mistake, then your salah is null and void. It says, وَلَا يَدْخُلُ مَعَهُ مَنْ عَلِمَ أَنَّهَا زَاهِدَةٌ. ولا يدخل معه المصلي ركعة زاهدة من علم أنها زاهدة فلو جاءها مسبوق. Even though he may come late, like he may come late, right? And you know if his addition, he should not follow the imam. وأدرك الإمام في ركعة زاهدة وهو يعلم أنها زاهدة فإنه لا يعتاد بها. If you know this man is adding more, even though you come late, do not follow him there. كذلك المسبوق إذا علم أن الإمام في ركعة زائدة سهوا فلا يدخل معه فيها. If a person, if he knows that imam, he is adding to it, then he does not follow him there. He said, وإن كان إمام أو منفردا فنتبع ثقتان لازمه الرجوع. He says that if the imam or a person who's praying alone, if two people inform him, like they say, you make a mistake, like maybe for example he's hiding to the salah, it's obligatory for him to return. If two people inform him, then it's obligatory for him to return. He said, وَإِذَا عَلِمَ بِنَفْسِهِ أَنَّهَا زَاهِدَةٌ فَإِنَّهُ يَجِبُ عَلَيْهِ الرُّجُوعُ عَنْ هَذِهِ زَاهِدَةٌ. If he knows from himself this is addition, if he knows from himself that it's more, it's addition, then he needs to return. He said, وَإِذَا لَمْ يَعْلَمْ وَلَكِنْ نَبَّهَهُ ثَقَةً. If he does not know, but two people inform him that, oh, it's 5th rakah, then he depends on this, it depends on their judgment, and he returned. وَيُبْنِي عَلَى قَوْلِهِمَا. So he builds on what they said to him. He said, وَلَا يَرْجَعُ إِن نَبَهُ وَاحِدٌ إِلَّا أَن يَتَيَقَّنَ صَوَابَهُ. If one person alerts him, right, it does not return unless he is certain that the person is right. Right? If the person led the salah and only one person that alerts him, like, look, yeah, subhanallah, subhanallah, right? And it's only one person. You do not follow him unless you're sure that he's right, because sometimes a person forgets and, say, oh, yeah, I'm right, he's right, then you come back. But if it's only one person and you're sure that you're right, then do not follow him. It says, لأنه صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يرجع إلى قول ذي يدين. He said the Prophet ﷺ did not return due to the statement of the Yadain. One of the companions is called the Yadain, the person with a big hand, the two big hands, right? So they call him the one with two big hands. That they call him, right? So but he alerted the Prophet ﷺ in the salah, and the Prophet ﷺ did not respond to him. They did not respond to him. So, of course, they mentioned the narration, but inshallah we're gonna just move on from that. So he says, لا يبطل الصلاة عمل يسير كفتحه صلى الله عليه وسلم الباب لعائشة رضي الله عنها. He said, a slight action in the salah does not nullify the salah. Like a person opened his door for a person, like the Prophet opened the door for Aisha, right? For example, maybe you're praying and somebody's at the door, right? And you're right there, you can't move and open the door. Or somebody asks you in the salah, where's such and such? You can point over there. You can point, like, right? So it's an amali yasir. It's not major. So it says because the Prophet opened the door for Aisha. وَحَمْلُ الْأُمَامَةَ وَوَدْعِهَا, and also carrying the Umama. Umama is who? Umama is the daughter of Fatima radiallahu anha. So the Prophet used to carry her in the salah. He will carry her when he stands, he will carry her, and if you want to make sujood or ruku, he will put her down. So it's this is permissible in the salah. Right? So he used to carry her and put her down. So this is not considered, as long as it's not a lot of movement. Yeah. Like just put something down and take something down. Like, if it's a lot of movement, then a lot of movement nullifies salah if it's not from the salah.
So About the carrying part.
Why?
Does he do it like in every rak'ah? Like
Yeah, in every rak'ah. Nah, every rak'ah. Nah. وإن أتى وإن أتى بقول مشروع في الصلاة في غير موضوعه كقراءة في القراءة في القعود والتشهد في القيام لم تبطل. So he says that if a person, if he says something that is from the salah, but it's not in the location where he's supposed to say it, his salah does not nullify it. Right? For example, if a person, for example, he recites Fatiha and he's sitting down when he's doing tashahhud, he recites Fatiha. Fatiha is for part of salah, right? But he said it in a forgetful manner, right? He said in a way that he does not intend it. If he intended, then it's nullified. But if he said it unintentionally, right? Or if he intended, it nullifies salah. But if it does not intend, if it's just like a forget, sometimes something happens that you made a mistake and maybe something, your mind is not there or something, right? If you say Fatiha in ruku, or she says what tashahhud fi qiyam, or he's saying tashahhud while standing, right? It's not in the right place. He said lam tubtil, lam tubtul, lam tabtul. He said this does not nullify the salah. He says ينبغي السجود لسهوه, but he must make sujood sahwi for it, because it is this is due to forgetfulness. The Shaykh says وإن سلم قبل إتمامها عمدا بطلت. If a person makes salam, he makes taslim, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, before ending the salah intentionally, then it's nullified. وإن كان سهوا, but if it's due to forgetfulness, ثم ذكر قريبا. If you forget, if you say Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, and it's kind of, and he just finished the salah, right? Then he has to come back and complete it. Because still, if it's like, وَلَا خَرَجْ مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ, even if he leaves the masjid. Like if he leaves the masjid, he just finished salah, and he let's step out. He said, وَلَا تَكَلَّمَ يَسِيرًا, even if he talks a little with people, he has to come back. As long as it's not too long, it's not a long time. It's not like hour or two after that, right? It's not like that, right? He says, وَلَا خَرَجَ مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ وَأَتَكَلَّمَ يَسِيرًا لِمَصْلَحَتِهَا. So he has to come back to rectify it. وإن كان تكلم سهوا أو نام فتكلم أو سبق على لسانه حال قراءته كلمة من غير القرآن لم تبطل. It says that if he talks, if he talks in the salah, forgetfully, right? Forgetful, right? He forgets, yeah? Or he slept in the salah, he's dozing up, or he's dozing up and he says something that he's not supposed to say in the salah, or he make a mistake where mispronounced something in Salah, it mispronounced something in Salah, while it is reciting, that is not from the Quran, right? The Salah is not nullified. Because it happens, right? If it's, maybe a child is bothering you in your Salah. So you say, and you pray, you say, stop.
Yeah.
And stop. And you're not paying attention. Like,
Yeah, it's not like
it's not conscious. The Salah is not nullified by that. It says, wine. So it says it's not nullified. Type. So it says, the Sheikh says, he said, وَإِن نَسِيهَا رُكْنًا. How much time we have left? Oh, it's almost time, right?
yeah.
طيب. خلاص. Let's start inshallah, right?
Yeah.
We'll recap it. We'll recap in next class, inshallah. And we'll recap inshallah next class. هذا والله أعلم صلى الله عليه وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. طيب.